This is Jagdanand. Friends, former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina arrived at the Hindan Indian Air Force Base in Ghaziabad on Monday evening, hours after resigning as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and fleeing her Dhaka residence. Sheikh Hasina was accompanied by her sister Sheikh Rehana. Sheikh Hasina has resigned as Bangladesh Prime Minister and an interim government is taking over. Army General of Bangladesh, Wakar Uzzaman, he announced in Dhaka amid massive anti-government protests that claimed more than 100 lives in just last 2 days.
যে দেশে একটা ক্রান্তিকাল চলছে, আমি সমস্ত রাজনৈতিক দলের নেতৃবৃন্দকে এখানে আমন্ত্রণ করেছিলাম। ওনারা এখানে এসেছেন, আমরা একটা সুন্দর আলোচনা করেছি। সেখানে আমরা সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছি যে একটা ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্ট আমরা ফর্ম করব এবং ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্টের মাধ্যমে এদেশের সমস্ত কার্যকলাপ চলবে। আমরা এখন মহামান্য রাষ্ট্রপতির কাছে যাব যে এই ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্ট ফর্মের ব্যাপারে ওনার সাথে আলাপ আলোচনা করে আমরা একটা ইন্টারিম গভর্নমেন্ট ফর্ম করে দেশ পরিচালনা করব।
Sheikh Hasina landed at the air base near Ghaziabad on her way to London, according to sources. The Bangladesh military chief General Wakar Uzzaman on Monday announced an interim government after the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled the country due to violent nationwide protests. In an address to the nation after meeting political parties, Zaman called for peace and said there would be no need for martial law if normalcy returns to the South Asian nation. He pledged to probe deaths of the protesters. He called for a halt to all violence in the name of protests and promised that the new government will ensure justice for the deaths, for all the deaths that took place during anti-discriminatory student movement. Hundreds of people were killed and wounded during the protests since July, which first called for the abolition of quotas in government jobs and later the resignation of the Hasina, who had been in power since 2009. Initially starting as a student protest against civil service job quotas, the movement has evolved into a broader anti-government uprising demanding Hasina's resignation. Friends, over 300 people killed and 11,000 people have been arrested in recent weeks. This unrest has also resulted in the closure of schools and universities across the country, and the authorities at one point imposed a shoot-on-sight curfew. This unrest making this one of the deadliest periods of civil unrest in Bangladesh history. Protesters stormed into the PM's official residence, Gorno Bhavan, amid shouting of slogans and waving flags. TV images showed hundreds of people ransacking the building and taking away chicken, fish and vegetables. Just watch those footage. The quota unrest between June 2024, when the High Court reinstated a 30% quota for the descendants of freedom fighters from the 1971 War of Independence, reversing a 2018 decision that had abolished such quotas. This was the regime. That is why there was movement across the country. Though Hasina offered to talk with the student leaders on Saturday, a coordinator refused and announced a one-point demand only, that is her resignation, Hasina's resignation. And Hasina reported her pledges to investigate the deaths and punish those responsible for the violence. She said she was ready to sit down whenever the protesters want, but all those failed. The 76-year-old is the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, whose image was also destroyed. The founding leader of Bangladesh, according to reports, Sheikh Hasina was forced to quit as Prime Minister after massive protests against her government over a controversial quota system that reserved 30% of government jobs of relatives of veterans who fought in Bangladesh's War of Independence in 1971. Meanwhile, Hasina's forced exile followed a 45-minute ultimatum given to her by the army chief, a day after clashes killed nearly 100 people across the country. The Prime Minister departed from her residence on Monday afternoon on a military helicopter for an undisclosed destination. She was accompanied by her younger sister, Sheikh Rehana, as they left for a safer place, according to reports. Friends, Hasina took office for her fourth straight 5-year term as the country's Prime Minister in January this year, after her ruling Bangladesh Awami League party won a landslide victory in the parliamentary elections. Meanwhile, Bangladesh's ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has landed at Ghaziabad's airport in a C-130 transport aircraft. The aircraft was parked near the Indian Air Force's C-17 and C-130J Super Hercules aircraft hangars. According to reports, the plane's movement was monitored by the Indian Air Force since its entry into the Indian airspace till its landing in Ghaziabad. She will fly next to London, according to reports, after a stay in India. India decided to provide a safe passage through the Indian airspace to Hasina aircraft after a request from Dhaka. The Border Security Force issued a high alert across India-Bangladesh border in response to the developments in the neighboring country. Earlier, the Ministry of External Affairs has also advised all its citizens to avoid traveling to Bangladesh and those already there to exercise extreme caution, restrict their movements and remain in contact with the High Commission in Dhaka. Meanwhile, leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, met External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in the Parliament House and discussed the development in Bangladesh.
আমি এরকম নিজের দেশে যুদ্ধ দেখবার কখনো কল্পনা করতে পারিনি, কারণ নিজের মানুষের মধ্যে অন্য দেশের সাথে যুদ্ধ লাগে, কিন্তু নিজের মানুষের মধ্যে যুদ্ধ, এই যুদ্ধ আমি দেখতে চাই না। এখানে আসার পর যখন হেঁটে হেঁটে আসতেছি, দেখি রিক্সায় করে গুলি লাগা, রিক্সায় করে বাইকে করে সবার লাশ নিয়ে একের পর এক অ্যাম্বুলেন্স থেকে লাশ বের হচ্ছে। আমি নিজে দাঁড়িয়ে দাঁড়িয়ে দেখতেছি, আমার কেউ না, বাট আমার নিজের বুক ফাটতেছে আজকে আমার ভাই।
Friends, like Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, which battled its worst economic crisis in 7 decades, then President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was also forced to flee from his official residence in July 2022 ahead of protests during which agitators stormed into his house and demanded his resignation. The island nation, which is home to 22 million people, suffered months of lengthy blackouts, acute food and fuel shortages, and galloping inflation in its most painful economic meltdown. The nation defaulted on its $46 billion foreign debt in 2022 after a foreign exchange wipeout left it unable to import food, fuel, and other essentials. Sri Lanka also saw months of civil unrest at the peak of economic crisis, culminating in the ouster of Rajapaksa. Like Sri Lanka, Pakistan also, which due to its financial crisis, the Tehreek-e-Insaf chief Imran Khan was also ousted from office through a no-confidence vote in April 2022. Shehbaz Sharif served as Prime Minister of a coalition government from April 2022 to August 2023. In November 2022, Khan sustained 3 bullet injuries on his legs after a gunman fired on the container-mounted truck carrying him during his protest march near Allahwala Chowk of Wazirabad. Like Pakistan also, Myanmar, which are also spiraled into a devastating civil conflict since the junta's 2021 coup was overwhelmingly spawned by the people, as the military wages a ruthless war against a nationwide armed resistance determined to oust it from power. So friends, like Pakistan and Myanmar, Bangladesh also faced similar situation. Sheikh Hasina resigned as Bangladesh Prime Minister, and very soon an interim government is going to be formed according to the Army Chief General Wakar-uz-Zaman. Let's wait and watch what is happening in this Southeast Asia. It is
আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন এখানে কিন্তু কন্ট্রোল না মানলে যারা কন্ট্রোল করতেছে না, যেই সাইডটা কন্ট্রোল করতেছে না সেই সাইডে কিন্তু গুলি চালানো হচ্ছে। গুলি চালানো হচ্ছে যে এই কারণে যেন কন্ট্রোল রাখতে পারে।